Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is something that almost everyone can relate to: moving on. Whether it's from a breakup, a job loss, or any other kind of loss or change, moving on can be a difficult and challenging process. But it's also an essential part of life, and it's something that we all need to learn how to do. In this video, we'll be discussing some practical tips and strategies for how to move on, and how to find happiness and fulfillment in the process. So, let's get started. The first step in moving on is to accept what has happened. This may seem obvious, but it's not always easy to do. When we experience loss or change, we often go through a period of denial or disbelief. We may try to hold on to what we've lost, or we may refuse to acknowledge that anything has changed at all. But the truth is that nothing stays the same forever, and sometimes things end, whether we like it or not. So, the first step in moving on is to accept what has happened. This means acknowledging the reality of the situation, and recognizing that there's nothing you can do to change what has already happened. It's not about giving up or resigning yourself to a life of misery. It's about accepting the reality of the situation so that you can start to move forward. Once you've accepted what has happened, it's important to allow yourself time to grieve. Grieving is a natural and necessary process that allows us to process our emotions and come to terms with our loss. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or any other range of emotions during this time. Allow yourself to feel these emotions fully, without judgment or shame. One important thing to remember during the grieving process is to take care of yourself. This means getting enough rest, eating well, and staying active. It's also important to reach out to friends and family for support, or to seek professional help if you're struggling to cope. After you've allowed yourself time to grieve, it's time to start letting go. Letting go means releasing any attachment or connection you have to what has been lost. This can be a difficult process, especially if you've invested a lot of time, energy, or emotion into what has been lost. But it's important to remember that holding on to the past will only hold you back from moving forward. One way to let go is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present and aware of your thoughts and emotions in the moment. It can help you to let go of negative thoughts and emotions, and to focus on the present moment instead. Another way to let go is to focus on the future. This means setting goals and making plans for what you want to achieve in your life. It can be helpful to create a vision board or a list of goals to remind yourself of what you're working towards. Another important part of moving on is forgiveness. Forgiveness means letting go of any anger, resentment, or bitterness that you may be holding on to. This doesn't mean that you have to forget what happened, or that you have to excuse the behavior of others. It simply means that you're no longer allowing those negative emotions to control your life. It's also important to remember that forgiveness is not just about forgiving others, it's also about forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes, and it's important to be gentle with ourselves when we do. If you're struggling to forgive yourself for something you've done, try to remember that you're only human, and that you're doing the best you can. Finally, once you've accepted what has happened, grieved, let go, and forgiven, it's time to start finding meaning in your life again. This means finding purpose, joy, and fulfillment in your life, even after experiencing loss or change. One way to find meaning is to explore your passions and interests. What makes you feel alive? What brings you joy and fulfillment? Whether it's a hobby, a career, or a cause that you're passionate about, finding something that you love can give you a sense of purpose and direction. Another way to find meaning is to focus on helping others. Volunteering or giving back to your community can be a great way to find purpose and fulfillment in your life. When you help others, you not only make a difference in their lives, but you also feel good about yourself and your own contributions. Moving on can be a challenging and difficult process, but it's also an essential part of life. By accepting what has happened, allowing yourself time to grieve, letting go, forgiving, and finding meaning, you can start to move forward and find happiness and fulfillment in your life again. Remember to be patient with yourself, and to take things one step at a time. And above all, remember that you're not alone, we're all in this together. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.